We are live. Welcome, friends. It is 8 o'clock on the West Coast, August 13th, 2020. We are watching the Brooklyn Nets and Portland Trailblazers right now. If Portland wins, they're in the play-in game. If they lose, the Suns are in. Devin Booker is my boy, so hoping, as much as I love Damian Lillard, which he just nailed the fucking three. Um, as much as I love him, I love Booker more. So I wish they were playing for the playing game. I wish Memphis hadn't won today, because then this game would just be to see if Portland was in. Um, yeah. So watching this while we talk about sports, I really wanted to talk about college sports in specific. There's a lot of talk about the Pac-10 or Pac-12 and Big Ten opting out, and they're going to try for in the spring, which I guess that's to have a season, do raise a little money. It won't be for anything significant because the actual season is being played this fall in the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 if things continue the way they are. And I think you'll see that it'll be fine. These kids being in these athletic bubbles. Yes, they're gonna go out and party. They're gonna do crazy stuff, but the testing that's available there, the measures that colleges will put in place to make sure that these kids, even though they're going out and interacting with other students and doing other things outside of football, that they'll still be able to control it some more. So third quarter's about to be over in this Brooklyn Portland game. Brooklyn up 9. Damian Lillard to the line. So college football, I think this is gonna go, under the radar. But you know, I there was talk in the beginning that they all might not come back. All the college football conferences might not come back because of the liability, worrying about players unionizing over safety. And I think I think that there's a couple important things that need to happen in college football to fix college football. It's a business. College football is a business, and that's the most important thing to remember in any of these conversations about college football, college sports, is that they are businesses. They're being ran like businesses, but we're not treating them like a business. They very much so should privatize college football. And if these other programs, baseball, hockey, you know, and other sports want to privatize, then let them go for it. Those other programs are not bringing in the money that football is. Football is literally carrying college sports. Basketball does a lot, but after football and basketball, baseball doesn't really do a whole lot financially, not anywhere near in comparison to what college football and college basketball not only bring in, but what they generate revenue wise. There is crazy money bet on college football and basketball, and when you're talking about that kind of money, you're talking about something real, and college football is anything but a college, you know, extension. It's not the law, you know, portion, the sector of your college. Football is its own animal, and it has nothing to do with the college except that the athletes are required to participate in and attend the school. And a lot of these kids don't want to do it, and they're going there to these colleges where billions of dollars are being generated, and they're playing for college education. But some of them don't want the education. If you want to offer a guy a college education as part of your recruitment pitch, I'm sure there's some kids that would find that very valuable. And if you could offer them free room and board plus $15,000, I think that goes a long ways. And some of these kids will be making millions of dollars, and there's nothing wrong with that. Especially when some of these kids, their value peaks in college. Look at some of the guys who have won the Heisman in college football and gone on to have very mediocre NFL careers. So if they could have capitalized on that, signed 1 year deals with these colleges, 2 year deals, 3 year deals, 4 year deals, and can make a million, 5 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. I think that's a win-win for everyone if these colleges can afford to pay those salaries. And if they don't want to and they just want to offer a college education, then let them. You'll see those programs have very good academic numbers, and these colleges like Alabama or any of these other profitable conferences and colleges, if they want to pay these players, then let them. And if they want to offer them a college education in lieu of payment, then let them. Let these kids have agents. Let them profit off of their likeness, their ability. Their ability. I most work programs that required people to work for free at first. A lot of those are gone now. There's a lot of businesses in the past that said you have to work for 90 days before you collect a paycheck, and there's still some of that out there. It's rare. But you hear stories of churches that would hire people, but you had to work the first 90 days for free. And a lot of that shit's frowned on, and it should be. I'm missing a lot of this action. I'm really passionate about fixing college sports, which it is fixable. College sports are very much fixable. So, and college players unionizing is what will start all this. And that's the first thing to happen. Players do need to unionize. They deserve to be represented, and they deserve to have a voice. Portland has brought it within 4 in the fourth quarter. This is actually a really good game. The Nets are playing very, very well. I love to see this fight out of them in a game that's not relevant for them, but a lot of respect considering, they're in the playoffs, but Portland or Phoenix's season's on the line, and they just went 8-0. It'd be super disrespectful for Brooklyn to just phone it in, not give their best effort here. So kudos to the Nets. Love to see it. And just balling out. But college players unionizing is huge. Negotiating, parameters for their employment once college sports get privatized. And at which point, players can earn money. There's no more shady backroom shit. You get rid of a lot of these, guys that are taking advantage of these kids that either need or want the money, and can offer them life-changing money right off the bat in exchange for, some very lopsided agreements, such as 10% of life earnings for $100,000 or $500,000. Those type of agreements are not healthy for young athletes. Who we all know that 18 to 21-year-olds are impressionable. So getting them away from these people that get them entrapped in these webs of. Dame Lillard just hit the longest three I've seen in a long time. There within 4. I think Brooklyn called the timeout on that. So college players unionizing, college sports, but specifically college football, privatizing, and then putting together the parameters of scheduling. Because right now, a lot of these upper tier colleges are scheduling a lot of cupcake games against D2 colleges. So getting a more exciting season, seeing more top teams play each other, even if it means not a perfect record. In my opinion, how it should go down is you should play in your conference 3/4 of your season, but then some out of conference games, even if they're against like tougher opponents. You would go up against tougher opponents in the other division, and then a playoff in each conference, which however many conferences there is, 6 plus conferences, the winners play each other in a playoff. To me, that's the most fair way to do it. Why should two SEC SEC teams fight for a national championship if they, which it's hard for something like that to happen, but you know to me the most fair way is all these conferences get aligned. Notre Dame decides who they're playing with, what conference they're playing with, and then the winners from these conferences playing each other in a playoff, and that's how you establish the national champion. And if people are going to complain that that's not a fair way to do it, I don't see what's a more fair way. I don't think the best way to go about college football playoff is, more than 8 teams, eight of the top 8 teams, and it really should just be the conference champions playing against each other. And so if so much wasn't on the line about having to go 13-0, or only suffering one loss or else your season's over, it would be really important to avoid that. Is you play a conference playoff and then you go to the playoff. And you would see some crazy stuff happen, like teams at the bottom of the conference maybe surprise a team or two. Maybe the third best team in the conference come out on a fluke, but that stuff happens all the time. Boise State back in their heyday, took one in their bowl game, but they very easily that year, that team could have taken a game off Alabama very easily, 10 times out of 10. And the thing is, you don't play 10 times, but you could end up, in that 10% chance, end up in that stuff happens all the time. We see upsets all the time. The 1 in 100 chance, or whatever percent chance they give that person of winning that fight, winning that game. That stuff happens all the time. So it's very possible that, yes, the third best team in a conference could come out and represent that conference in the playoffs for the national championship. And I don't think that that's bad. It probably doesn't make for great television if they make a deep run. But I'd argue that the deeper the run goes, the bigger the story is. We saw that with, Butler making a couple runs, some other recently with college basketball really not being, as competitive as it used to be. Teams are never usually really good for multiple years in a row unless, they have guys that are not projected to be really high draft picks. So they're staying there for the 4 years for the experience, for the education, and then maybe going in mid to late second round, so that we just don't see the dominance we used to see when guys stayed at college. Really good players, star players stayed at college longer. And now with the G League becoming an attractive option, you're going to see even less, talent in college basketball. It'll still be heavily bet on, but you will not see nearly the level of talent with the G League now becoming popular, and then the eventual where college high school kids can go straight to the NBA, which is soon. That is soon for us. I'm really surprised something like that doesn't exist in the NFL, and that the NFL doesn't have a development league. And to me, that would bypass college. But right now, it's a free developmental league for them. College sports are. They don't have to put any money into that. The colleges regulate that. If a player plays poorly or behaves poorly in college, the NFL can carry over punishment into their league. That's their right. But it's a free development league, so I can't ever see them wanting to push for college players to be able to jump straight. They probably would never agree with it. College would have to change that rule, which isn't going to happen. They're not going to tell kids not to come to college, and the NFL is never going to want to put money into a developmental league. We already saw that fail in NFL Europa. And you see the level of talent in leagues like the AFL, which, credit where credit's due. The XFL did produce a couple guys that are now on NFL rosters. So, again, a free minor league system to tap into. And now that the XFL has been bought by The Rock, I fully expect that to work. The Rock, with his connections and power and money, will give that league every chance to survive, and thrive, which XFL is already doing a lot of good things, but with what The Rock brings and what he brings to the table, I fully expect the XFL to be watchable, and entertaining, but ultimately a farm system for the NFL. Let's see. One thing I wanted to try on the stream was a player highlight. The other day I was thinking, it'd be really cool for some people that maybe don't know older players, or just maybe didn't know as much as they thought they did about a player. And for some reason, the first player I thought of because of that was Reggie Jackson, with the nickname Mr. October. And for a lot of people, when I was younger, I didn't, Mr. October, it didn't make sense. And even you hear the stories like, okay, yeah, he was a great hitter in the postseason. That's why how he earned that name. But he's a legend for a lot of people who, and until I got older and did more research about him, didn't really fully know the extent of Reggie Jackson and what a crazy career he had and what an amazing player he was. Earning the nickname Mr. October, he was drafted by the A's, led them to 5 straight NL West titles, 3 straight AL East pennants, and 3 straight World Series. 3 straight World Series. How wild is that? Then he goes to the Yankees, helps them win 4 AL East titles, 3 AL East pennants, and 2 World Series, and just lighting it up in those series. Went on to play with the Angels and won 2 West titles with them, but never saw postseason success there. Interesting with the A's, when he left the A's, he was, I think, a year away from what was eventually going to become free agency. Didn't sign his contract and was traded. And after he was traded, which I believe was to Baltimore, the A's didn't make the playoffs, and they had made the playoffs, for I think some crazy amount of time, 7 straight years, a long time they'd gone without missing the playoffs, and they trade Reggie Jackson and they missed the playoffs. Amassed 463 home runs, had 2 different jerseys retired with 2 different teams. Both the A's and the Yankees both retired his number. This guy played football and was actually recruited to Arizona State as a football player with, idea in mind that he might want to play baseball on the side, and as a running back. And in his junior year of high school, though, he injured his knee, was told, done for the season, you can't play anymore. Comes back for the last game of the season in his junior year and breaks 5 cervical vertebrae and was told he might not ever walk again. Goes on to get recruited by Arizona State as a running back, and when the next season came along in his sophomore year, where they were wanting him to convert to a defensive back in football, he had already started playing on the baseball team at Arizona State and decided to make the full switch over to baseball. Did not want to play defensive back. There were some crazy stories about, colleges recruiting him, and that some of the stuff they said that they didn't, the rumors out there of why they didn't want to sign him. Not to mention 2 of the colleges recruiting him were in the South, and he was really nervous about playing in the South. Black players had just started playing in college sports in some of those areas. So he went to Arizona State and played baseball, drafted by the A's, and eventually ended up, turning into a star. So it's pretty interesting to think about, where these guys come from. Because a lot of times you hear so much about it. Everyone, knows Babe Ruth was one of the greatest baseball players of ever. But I don't think we'll ever fully grasp how great, because of technology. We get to see in high definition LeBron's greatness, Kobe's greatness, Michael Jordan's greatness. And so, we will never fully understand the greatness of those players. I've talked to people who did see Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig play, and, to be able to be there in person to see those games is, incredible just to think about. And so it's we definitely need to soak up, even though our future generations will get to see, our current sports, in high definition. Hopefully, as long as the world doesn't end and electricity doesn't cease to flow through our houses. It's there's nothing like the present, man. Seeing these moments in live time is something no one in the future will ever be able to grasp, ever. So, soaking up these moments is so key. Um, for all you esports fans, TSM was clean swept today by Golden Guardians. I didn't get to see the games. I saw some highlights, and it's a disappointing end of the playoff. I don't know what that means for their world's chances. I thought that meant they were out. I thought it was top 3 teams, but maybe there's another gauntlet or something. Um, while Portland is back within 3 of Brooklyn. 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Jarrett Allen with the big rebound. Oh no, what was that? Who's that? Tyler Johnson? Um, for those you don't know, right now, Brooklyn and Portland are playing. If Portland wins, they're in the play-in game for the 8th and final spot in the playoffs for the West. If they lose, Phoenix plays Memphis for the play-in game, which I think means that the Phoenix has to win 2, and Memphis will just have to win 1. And I think if Portland wins, they're the team that just has to win 1. Oh, wow. A miss. Gary Temple. I'll tell you one thing. Even though they're high-scoring games, they look so sloppy on offense. Everyone looks so sloppy on offense. McCollum misses a wide-open 3 to tie. Giving you play-by-play. I didn't really want to get into any super deep stuff as far as politics go. Honestly, I feel like I don't even know what to believe. You hear something, on the news or on social media, and then come to find out it's not true. And there's just so much of that. The only thing I have to say in regards to politics is, we don't have to accept either one of these people. Biden has been a part of the problem for his entire political career. There was a lot of things that they have done as far as progressing law enforcement to the state it's in now. And I don't think any of us have to be content with Trump or Biden. I know that there's bullshit around having to fill out paperwork to run for president, but we don't have to accept this. The people have the power. It's a shame that we can't unite to end this bipartisan bullshit that we're fed. The It's a big problem when you have 2 political parties that control literally everything, and there's just no balance there. There's just left and right. It's literally why they call it left and right. you know um it's really a shame that we haven't gotten a party that actually represents the common person. Donald Trump's the first one we've had like that since someone like Ronald Reagan. It's been a long time since we've seen a president who has come from literally nothing. You look at George Washington was a farmer, and then a guide. Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer, back when uh, things were a lot different. They're not. It's not wasn't the ritzy, glamorous thing you see now. Of course, different times. Melo just hit a big three. Did I miss that? Can anyone confirm? Did I just miss a Melo three? 5 fouls on Melo. Wow. I was wondering why we hadn't seen him in a minute. 3:34 to go. Brooklyn up 2. Oh, what a fake. Good Lord. Gary Trent just got faked out of his shoes, dude. Damian Lillard trying to bring it back. 3 trying to draw. Oh, what? Trying to draw contact to me is so crazy. Even though he got like a legit shot off of that, like why would you want to alter shot if you can go up and take your best shot? Why don't you do that? I mean, I guess it's strategy. I usually discourage gentlemanly uh, rules in sports, but to me, it's just bad basketball, man. I would much rather see you shooting normal threes than at the free throw line. But that's what happens when you got money involved. Everything gets petty. Rules are enforced. When little money's on the line, rules are lightly enforced. Portland is shooting like garbage in this second half. Wow. And the Nets shooting 54% from the field in the second half, 42% from 3. That just goes to show you they must have been. I didn't watch the beginning part of this game. They must have been down a lot in the first half. Let's see. I've already covered a lot of this stuff. Memphis winning today, I almost feel like they should have just lost. I know that's not their especially John Morant, not that kind of player, but man, they have no shot. One against Portland or Phoenix, and they definitely don't have a shot against the Lakers, which both Portland and Phoenix have a shot. Portland with their backcourt, although backcourt's not looking too hot tonight. But Devin Booker, man, he will put on a light show against the Lakers. I know they'll stick LeBron out there, but LeBron will not be able to follow Devin Booker all game. And heaven forbid Portland wins, man. How are they going to cover McCollum and Lillard? They have no guards. No healthy guards, let's say that. I really do think right now the Clippers are the team to beat in the West. I don't think they'd even begin to put the foot to the pedal, or the pedal to the metal. I think that we're going to see a much different team in the playoffs. I know that's a cold take, but we really will see, a much more refined team than what we're seeing right now. Oof. Portland with the 1-point lead, 2:50 to go. We're going to turn on a little bit of audio. We're listening live. Although I don't know how much of this you can hear. Wow. Brooklyn scores an easy bucket. Gary Trent comes down and nails a corner 3 to put him up by 2. Although I'm probably not allowed to put this on YouTube or Spotify with audio. So we'll cut that. Oh, Brooklyn with the key offensive rebound. LeVert dribbling out. Yeesh. Ooh, that's a tie game. With less than 2 minutes to go, that's a tie game. If you're not watching this game right now, what are you doing? Oh, and one by Nurkic. Wow. Wow. That was a good drive. Good pass. You got to know you fouled him right there, man. My mans. I did actually see Bill Gates say something pretty reasonable the other day, and that was a nice change from his, evil scientist, normal routine. It was a nice change. Brooklyn with the chance to tie. Oh, a bad pass leads to a steal. Dame Lillard looking to put this game away. A miss by Lillard. Short little jumper. Oh, Lillard with the steal and no foul. Wow. That was really interesting. One minute to go. Lillard with the ball. A three. In my opinion, a three ends this game right here. Oh, that's McCollum. Across. Shot to get top of the key. 4-point game with a minute to go. McCollum, that was a nice move. McCollum, I know shrinks in some big moments, but that full balls, man. What a backcourt. What a shame that they're living during Curry and Klay Thompson's reign. Because, man, right now, if it wasn't for those two, they'd be the hottest backcourt in basketball. Phoenix 8-0 in the bubble. For a team that really had to go 8-0 to even have a chance, pretty impressive. And they beat some good teams along the way. Memphis losing Jaren Jackson, I think, was huge. It really deflated them, or else they really would have had a lock on that. But Portland has balled out, but so has Phoenix. 8-0, is impressive no matter what. But when you have 8 games to play and you win out like that against really good competition, it's impressive. Definitely reminisce of how they started the season really strong and then started fading. You know, I wasn't surprised to see that they're doing well. I expected them to go well, but I didn't. No one could say they expected 8-0. I expected maybe best case, 5-3, 6-2 maybe. You don't expect the team to run the table like that. But they're sitting in their Disney World hotel room watching this game right now. Probably all praying to something right now. Someone, something. Brooklyn, who's looked really good all game, looking really shaky now, which is probably not what you want to see when you're playing a team, that's really good and you're getting ready to prepare for a playoff run. Oh, a nice rebound. No. Oh, some sloppy passing. Some desperation right here. And one. Wow, LeVert. What a nice little piece, man. I'm telling you, Brooklyn's got something. I don't think you trade anyone there except for maybe DeAndre Jordan. LeVert, the other guy, Dinwiddie. You got Jarrett Allen. Next year you get KD and Kyrie, which if I'm any team with Kyrie on a team, I'm load managing that full. No back-to-backs. Maybe not even traveling. Like maybe only home games until playoffs. Because that dude is fragile. When's the last time he made it through a full season? Okay, McCollum trying to end this. Melo in the corner. Oh, misses. Brooklyn's got a shot to take the lead here. 17 seconds. Down one. LeVert, is he about to call his shot? ISO. 6. There he goes. Top of the key. Oh, he misses. Bro, that was not the shot. At the very top of the key, that's not the shot, bro. Damn. What a performance, though, by the Brooklyn Nets. And Portland is the 8 seed, so they get 2 shots to win it. Memphis got to win 2. Portland just got to win one of those 2. Wow. Well, Phoenix, It was a good run. Look forward to next year. I hope DeAndre Ayton's ready to take the next step. See, that was not the move. He. You don't have to do the hardened step. I think maybe he thought McCollum was going to close out, but you got a height advantage, man. You don't even need that step back right there. But all right, I think we're gonna call the stream at that. There's more stuff we're gonna start working in. I'm hoping to have our co-host, my boy Streets, on next Tuesday. We're shooting for it. I'm shooting for it. I'll get that ironed out with him. But just remember, everyone, be safe out there. For those of you that are inclined to get a little heated when it comes to things happening in our world, just remember, we're all humans. All of us have made mistakes. All of us are gonna make mistakes. No one's perfect. And if you believe in a God, He would not want you to spread hate and to hate anyone or anything. And if you don't believe in a God, just remember, man, we are all humans. It's easy to forget that everyone is going through a struggle. Everyone is got demons, and everyone's fighting their own demons. So just remember, when you see someone, might be making you mad or might be annoying you, just remember, they might be going through something. I think everyone could use someone being there for them. Even if they're not gonna accept your help, just knowing that there's someone that was offering help to be there for them is huge. So stay safe, and remember, we're all in this together.